My name is Lori Peacock, and I am on the media planning committee for the conference, and I have the dubious honor today of introducing Evie Staples, whose reputation has clearly preceded her. So I don't want to take away from any of her time, so I'm not going to read her bio. You okay with that?
Yes.
What I would like to say on a personal note is, you know in your life how you meet someone and you immediately know they're going to be one of your best girlfriends?
Yeah.
Like your souls knew each other in another life?
Yes.
That's the way I feel about Evie Staples. She's come into this community and just taken it by storm, and we love her. So I'm going to stop talking so that she can. Evie Staples.
I want to start by saying, whoa, I am so grateful that all of you are in this room. Thank you. That means a lot. So I'm going to try to get myself together because I wasn't expecting to have these feelings. But I knew that our time together was going to be powerful. I was prepared for that regardless. So my hope is to share with you what I feel I've been assigned to share, and then hear from you, engage with you, talk with you, and we can get rolling. So I want to start by telling you a little bit about what I do. So how many of you all were in Tanya's class this morning? A little bit earlier. Okay, so you know she's in project management. My discipline is change management. I am the sister to the brother project management. So I do all the people parts of change. So when I heard about this conference, do the change, I was like, yes, I get to talk about my favorite thing, change, right? But the reality is change is way more complex than it is exciting most days, right? Oh, I love this. Listen, I come from a church background, so talk back to me. Yes! I like that, okay? When I think about what change is, and I'm doing the John Bastain method of only putting up pictures because I know exactly what's on my heart to share with you all, but I got my notes just in case. But we think about like the journey of a butterfly. Everybody knows what that journey is, right? And in reality, we all have that same similar journey. When we're born, we learn to walk. That's a journey of transformation. We learn to talk. It's a journey of transformation. Yet somehow, as we start to get older, our relationship with transformation becomes very different because there's disappointment, there's pain, there's dashed hopes. There's a lot of things along the way that changes our relationship with transformation that we don't necessarily feel as excited about it as we should. I want you to know the first thing in this room is that you're not alone if you have ever felt this way. Statistics show 30 to 60% of people feel this way at any given time in the world, in professional, in personal, in grieving, in restarting your life, and starting a brand new change. 30 to 60% of us feel tension, what I like to call, I coin, tension in transition. Okay? Now listen, my mom was a teacher, so we're about to learn a little something. There are 3 states in change. The first is the current. The second is the transition, and the third is the future. The future state, that's where we want to get to. That's where our hopes bring us often. We get stuck in the current state way more than we need to, but that's also science. Science shows that we have a current state bias, where even if we don't like to change, even if we don't like the circumstances that we're in, at least it's the chaos we know.
Yes.
Okay. I'm glad I'm a room full of ladies just willing to tell the truth about it. Because at least it's the chaos we know. And we come to this place where we say to ourselves, oh my gosh, I need to find something else. I need to do something else. I'm not happy with where I'm at. I want to build something. And so you come to conferences like this and you ask yourself, what do I need to gain to convince me to transform? What I'm here to tell you is the answer is nothing. Okay? I have a theory. The theory is that what you need to do is simply recover what you've lost.
Wow. Wow.
That you are already built, engineered, pre-wired with everything you need to make you capable of achieving greatness.
Yes.
What happens is the journey corrodes you along the way. People take power, people take attention, people lie, people hurt, People do all of these different things and it takes from you, and then you end up feeling depleted, exhausted, and you have no idea why. My theory is not that you were broken, it was that you were perfect from the beginning, and the journey is actually for you to get back to yourself and to recover all of the power that you're dispensing out on a regular basis that is wasteful. A lot of times, right, we start in our current, and we have to get to our transition, but does life look like this? In fact, it looks like this. And that's it we get there. Sometimes we get there, so already, yes, that was a lot. Already, our journeys are filled with so much complexity. Already. But we tell ourselves, you know what, it's the pain that's made me exhausted, or it's the broken heart, or it's the grief. But sometimes things can be painful and still produce something beautiful.
Wow. That's right.
Yeah.
So it's not the pain, it's the power. Sometimes we tell ourselves, oh, you have to forgive me because this took it out of me. That's just life. The pain can sometimes produce something beautiful still. Or we tell ourselves, nobody's ever done it before. Or I'm not in the right conditions to make it happen. But conditions don't matter, because you might be the person to break through and make it happen. Yeah. So really, in reality, what we're telling ourselves are all excuses. And along this journey that's already so complex, we add mountain peaks. We add unnecessary mountain peaks. Now, for the sake of time, I was going to have 4 ladies come up. I'm not going to do that because I want to free up a lot of time in the end for us to just be together. Here's the first mountain peak. Can somebody read it? Denial. What does that sound like? Oh, it's okay. I don't have to change anything right now. It's not that bad. I'm sure it didn't happen. I'll pretend like it. I pretend like it didn't happen. Oh, it's okay if I don't consider myself this time. It'll be all right. And so while we're going through this ridiculous journey, we're also going around the mountain of denial, spending our energy going in this circle. What's another one? Somebody read this out. Anxiety. You know, I wrote something down the other day and it moved me to tears. Depression is fixation on the past. Anxiety is fixation on the future. Most people have heard of that. Anxiety is a smart person's remedy for a broken heart. That made me cry. Reason why is because I have my own journey of anxiety. And what happens is when something hurts us, when we're brilliant, and all of us are, we tell ourselves, hold on, before you go into that step, run the metric on scenarios. Run the scenario. Maybe they'll treat me like this. Maybe something will happen. Maybe, and what am I going to do then? Have you ever gotten into an argument with no one?
Yeah.
You're like, don't take that. You're in the car by yourself. Running scenarios in your head aren't real. Anxiety is your mind trying to do the job of your heart because it's scared your heart will hurt again. So your mind runs all these different scenarios, and here goes another mountain. Anxious mind, anxious mind, anxious mind, anxious mind. But what else does an anxious mind do? It tells you, oh, you know you should have been done that. Why haven't you started? What's wrong with you? The more you wait to start, the more you... Guys, I'm tired just talking about it. It's another mountain. You go round and round and round and round. Let's talk about another one. Are you guys ready? See, y'all didn't say it. You're not ready. Unforgiveness. Now, if you heard me speak at VIA, you know, this is VIA, previous VIA. If you heard me speak at previous VIA, you know that I've talked about unforgiveness, and that sometimes as you're walking your journey of time along this timeline, someone could offend you here and realize the error of their ways here. But you won't move past the point where they offended you. Wow. So yet again, She knows she shouldn't have done that. I've never done anything wrong to anybody. Why would somebody do something like that to me? Or sometimes it's more meaningful, like, I'm really tired of trusting in this person. Or, for those of us who have childhood experiences, I needed you to be there. I needed you to be there and you weren't. And now I'm walking the journey of the whole rest of my life trying to figure out how to account for the missing piece you owed me. And if we were carrying that and then we became parents, now I got to pour from a deficit I never experienced, from an example I never had. But at some point, we got to stop running around this mountain. Because all of these things on top of these swigglies, which now looks like a really weird board, all of these things are costing us energy. What's the last one?
Loneliness.
Sometimes we don't walk this journey because we know the people who were with us here won't be here. Sometimes we don't walk this journey because we don't know if there's anybody like us if we decide to dream our dreams.
Right.
Or maybe we're in crabs in a barrel situations where if someone pops their head out, you don't feel safe around people who will believe in you and push you up.
Right.
They only want to push you down so they feel better about themselves. If you've never been in that environment, you know that environment. So what we do is we avoid really shining, really doing what we're capable of because we don't want to walk a journey alone.
That's good.
Thank you, sister. So on top of all that it takes to just live life, we're going around mountains. Now, you see how exhausting this was. Now you see how exhausting this is, but how many of us can go through 1, 2, 3, or maybe even 4 of them at the same time? That's a lot of traveling. By the time you get done with all the energy you spent with this travel, you could have done this, then this, then this, then this again, then this again. Eliminating one mountain would be enough energy to get there. So I say that to say, you know, I hear a lot about how to embrace this concept. What do I do about it? And there are so many other mountains you can name. Guilt is another one, right? You can't forgive yourself. Not even about forgiving others. But the beautiful thing is, don't look at it from a guilt perspective. Look at it from one small thing you do is enough to change your life forever.
Wow.
Okay? And that's the idea of trajectory, right? And you see it on screen here, but I'm going to kind of describe it. Darren Hardy has a book called The Compound Effect.
Yes.
This is where I learned it. It's an amazing book.
It's so good.
Okay? If I start here, can everybody see?
Yeah.
If I start here, and I make a decision to move 1 little centimeter, versus making a decision to move 1 more little centimeter, it's not a centimeter when I get to the end. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So a small decision pivots you in the right journey the same way it can pivot you in the wrong journey, right? So I want to get into my story, and y'all better not make me cry again. Almost made me cry at the top. Y'all trying to get me. Okay. A lot of you know it. Some of you don't. A lot of people in here that I love, a lot that I will love. So I'm excited to meet all of you. I, in February 22, after being married for 2 months, found out I was pregnant. Woo! So much for the fun honeymoon time. Time to learn how to be married and be a parent at the same time. A couple of days later, I found out my father died. And I had a really complex relationship with my father. He was a veteran, come from a long line of veterans. And so we didn't have the easiest relationship. If you know anything about veterans, when they come home, they need a lot of help. It's not the same, right, for them. And so I was raised in an environment similar to that. I went through 9 months of pregnancy, 8 months, whatever you want to call it. It was a very difficult time, a very difficult pregnancy for me because my mom was dying. I had just lost my dad. So I went from, please, 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 let my mom live through this. She had lupus. So we always fought through everything else. We can fight through this. We can make it through this time. And then it started to get harder to walk the halls with a big old round belly. And then I was showing up to the hospital to see my mom, and they were telling me the maternity unit was this way. And I was like, no, going over here to see my mom. Because God surely wouldn't hate me enough that he would take her before my daughter was born. But that's what happened. I was 3 centimeters dilated at my mother's funeral. I couldn't stand up and go to the casket because everybody was scared I was going to drop the baby right then. I can smile about it now, but it was an impossible time. And so after all of this happened to me, I had to go through grief and postpartum at the same time. And I went through the anxiety. I went through my body doesn't look like it used to. I went through I don't recognize myself anymore. I went through all of these different ones, but slowly but surely, I took the trajectory route and I just said, you know what? Today, I'm just going to go around the mountain one less revolution. One less revolution. I'll still feel anxious about walking outside, but I'll stop being in my head about it so much just for today and see what happens. I'll still be angry at God, but I'll just pray today or just have a positive, motivational, meditational moment one time and just see what happens. Right. All I did was step by step, I cut one revolution off of these mountains. Yeah. It doesn't mean the mountains go away. Okay? Yeah. Okay? It doesn't mean life stops being squiggly. But what it means is you catch yourself in the revolution of a mountain and you say, I won't go around so much. Yeah. Today, I'm done for today. And I'll take a deep breath, and I'll use that energy elsewhere. So what's going to happen? Because I need to prepare you for that. You start going through one less revolution in your mind. You start being your own friend. Because that's the other thing about loneliness is you don't want to get stuck with yourself, because yourself is not very nice to yourself in your head. Right. You don't like being lonely, because to be around yourself is to hear somebody unkind in your brain talking to you. Right. I didn't mean to hit you with that one, but here we are. So what happens when you slow down the revolutions in your mind? The first thing that happens is you get very exhausted because you realize how much you've been running. But the second thing that happens is you realize all the misplaced energy that you've been going through, and then you start to have a temptation to pile on because your brain is at peace. It used to be running, and now you calmed it down, and now you don't know what to do, so you start piling on, making yourself unnecessarily busy. Wow. I didn't even hit you with that one. So you start to pile on. So what we have to do is slow this down and then be okay that it's quiet in our minds. Yeah. Because then we can listen here. That's good. Then we can say, what moves me? Wow. And then when we move in our passion, it feeds us. It's feeding me to be in front of you right now. I was born to do this. I've been talking since I was 8. To some people's frustration. But here we are. It feeds me to do this. It feeds me to serve. Yeah. And each one of you are called in some way, shape, or form to serve the world for a positive good, for a good big thing. Yes. It feeds you when you're in that space of revelation, of inspiration. Yeah. Right. So let that flourish and let it come out. Don't busy yourself. It's okay to sit still in your mind and go, what's moving me today? Mm-hmm. What's shaking my soul today? Right. What's making me profound? You know, we get put down so much about having feelings as women. It's our most powerful gift to be empathetic for one another, to help one another, to see and pick up on something with one another and speak to it when no one else sees us. Yes. And you know what else? Our individual journeys, sometimes up and down all types of crazy mountains, makes us uniquely qualified. Right. Yes. To speak to someone who needs to slow down the revolutions of their mountains. Yes. So the last thing I want to say to you is everything about you, like I said at the beginning, even the broken pieces have qualified you for this journey. Everything. The things that you're frustrated or feeling frustrated or embarrassed or whatever about, they're a part of it. They're a part of what makes you uniquely incredible to complete what it is you have in your heart. Okay? Now we're at 1:33. I didn't watch the time. But that's it. So now I want to take a second and I want to open it up to anybody who just wants to share a thought, anyone who has a question, because again, the psychology of change is my jam, so I can tell you somebody's been doing it 10 years. Or yeah, go ahead.
How do you provide the space, or what strategy do you use to apply grace to yourself while you're in this process instead of hammering yourself down?
I love that you asked me that question. Me too. I'm getting a gift. How do you provide that space? So there's a technique that you can call, don't do this all the time because you might seem a little crazy for doing it. Okay? Don't go so far as multiple personalities. I do not recommend that. However, othering is an excellent thing. Because technically, those of you all who struggle to have grace for yourselves probably have a whole lot of it for other people.
Right.
So what you do is you step outside of yourself, you look at yourself from the outside, you other yourself, and you say, this is my friend. That's where you start. This is my friend. The second thing, I love her. The third thing, what does she need? This is my friend. You can close your eyes and put your hands on yourself. Let's do that. Everybody put your hands on yourself. Step one, let's say, I want to hear you. This is my friend.
This is my friend.
I love her.
I love her.
What does she need?
What does she need?
Listen. And you let your heart tell you. Because when you have a friend and you love her, you know exactly what she needs. So you do that to yourself. You other yourself. And you do this continually. When you catch yourself doing those revolutions, stop. This is my friend. I love her. What does she need? Imagine her outside of you. Imagine in your mind her outside of you. What does she need? First thing you're probably going to tell yourself is to take a deep breath. Right. Okay, let's calm down. We got this. Okay. And then you go into the mode of treating her with the same care you would treat anybody else that was not you.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Yes, Lori.
I heard you say at one of the things I heard you speak at that still resonates with me. It went something like, would you talk to a friend the way you talk to yourself?
That's right.
And I've carried that with me, and that was really important.
Thank you, Lori. So this is called the Momentum Maker. It's a workbook doing this sort of activity that I built, and it's for you.
I would be taking it from someone else, Evie.
No, I have 3 more.
Okay.
You have a question, you just want one?
I just want
I love that. Thank you for sharing that, Lori.
But I do want one for you.
And then somebody in the back had their hand up. There you go. We got the 2. Okay, now I'm out officially, but I can bring you guys somewhere if you send me an email. I'll just send it to you. It's not a problem. Any other questions, thoughts? Yes, please.
Okay, so I have a question because especially I'll be 48 this year,
Yeah.
and I feel like super behind where finding my purpose or where I feel fulfilled in my career for various reasons. And I've also been like in a kind of just traumatic life since I was 21.
Yeah.
So how do you give some advice for us older ladies that are struggling with feeling like we're losing time?
So, I want to tell you nothing is lost, but you won't believe me, so I've got to prove it to you. Okay? How old are you?
47.
47. Good looking lady for 47. Okay, when you started out with 0, I assume you were born? Yes.
I was
Started out at
actually
0, you're 47. Okay. Let's say you lived at 85. Let's say 90, because we have 81-year-old lady in there.
Yeah.
So, let's say 90, okay? Somebody tell me what percent 47 is of 90. Yeah, get out your calculator. It's 50 something, but I don't know what else to know. Somebody tell me the exact percentage.
It's 52.
52%.
52.2. Yeah.
52.2%.
Yeah.
Okay. If I tell you you're a millionaire, and I tell you, listen, I want you to invest all the money you have into me, I am 52.2% sure that we're going to make that money back. Give me everything you got. Would you do it? No. If no wasn't your answer, that's the right answer. I say that to say you would be oddly surprised how underqualified you are to judge your own life until you've lived it. You would be oddly surprised how underqualified you are to judge your own life until you have lived it. You are 52% of the way.
Yes.
Who's to say that the next, with everything that's happened, you could be like bamboo. You know what bamboo does as a plant? It grows underwater, it grows underground for 5 years. And then all of a sudden it just, it's gone. Who's to say the next 10 years of your life won't do that? Then the next 10 years after that will be something else amazing. Then the next 10, what about 52% of anything makes you trust it enough to take out all the wonder in it? Did that help?
Yeah.
Okay, because look, anybody over 52%, this model works up until about 70%. Once you're 70% of 90, I'll come up further.
Share that, so I'm 56 and started VIA 4 years ago.
Wow.
So this is just a small example of something, and the ladies in the group are just not required. And I believe that I would have never been able to do it 10 years ago. I didn't have it.
I want to thank you. I'm going to go right to you. I want to take a moment and just rest on what Ann just said to us. She said 10 years ago I wouldn't have thought to do it. There are things in my life, and it's easier for us to look back journey from journey. Can somebody put their arms around you? Are you comfortable with that?
Friend.
There are things that, as I look back on my life, there are certain suffering I had to go through to appreciate. No different than you wouldn't give a teenager a brand new Maserati. Right. They're going to wreck it. Give them a wreckable car. Give them a car you know they're going to wreck the first time, right? And then let them drive your luxury car. Or if you let them drive your luxury car, be in the car with them going, hey, brake, go under. You got to be extra cautious when it's something precious and you're not ready, right? And then when I look back on there's no life decision I would have trusted the teenage me to make. And that 40% of life decisions I would have trusted me in my 20s to make. I'm coming out of my 30s right now. And so when I think about that, you can trust yourself to do something now that you never would have thought of before because you went through the testing time, the proving time. You went through this tension and transition time. You can trust yourself now. So instead of saying, I miss my time, I miss my time, I want you to ask yourself a different question. I want you to say, what do I do with all the power in the world now? Because I got it. I got my power back from this experience, I survived it. The beautiful thing about talking to a room full of alive people is I can say that you have survived 100% of your trials. And be correct. So what do I do with all the mountains I've survived? Thank you, Ann, for saying that. Please.
Yeah. Good afternoon. So I just turned 57. Thank you. So as you were going through that formula, I was like, how is that going to work for me? But then when you said what you said, and I also just retired from over 30 years in law enforcement, and I'm doing something new. Yeah. And I've literally spent all of my adult life, I've been in such structure between the military and law enforcement. And now it's like I have this freedom to be able to do whatever the heck I want to do.
Yes.
So I'm excited about this, and being in those environments around male-dominated professions, and just being in an environment around a lot of women is just so. I absolutely love it.
Thank you for sharing that. If I can expound on what you said, I'm going to go right to you. If I can expound on what you said, I thought it was really powerful that you shared all the experience that you've had in law enforcement. Whatever you do next, people are going to feel safe. Yeah. They're going to feel protected. They're going to feel like there's some structure in their lives of chaos. Whatever it is, the spirit that brought you to that thing is still with you as you go out of that thing. Sometimes we're scared to switch something in our lives because we think we've lost stuff.
Yeah. Good afternoon. So I just turned 57. Thank you. So as you were going through that formula, I was like, how is that going to work for me? But then when you said what you said, and I also just...
Don't judge me. I cannot draw. It's not my gift. You know what my gift is. I'm using it. We've got a cup. That cup is you. Right? This is a saucer. Don't judge me. I told you what it is. I don't think y'all can believe me. Alright, so we got a cup and a saucer. Alright? What happens is we pour, we're at 100%, we pour, we go down a little bit. Then we pour into the kids. Then we pour in our jobs. Then we pour at our institutions. Then we pour in this and we pour in that, and it just goes down and down and down and down. What I've decided is everybody can still get fed down here if I just overflow. So I receive a pour until I'm filled up. And my job every morning is to check in with myself and see if I'm full. And if I'm not full, my job is to get full. Number one, before kids, before everybody else. If there's a fire in the apartment, fill me up. All right, here we go. Right? No good to anybody. What happens when we let this happen, this happen, this happen, this happen? All too often, nobody comes to pour us back up because we are the pourer for everybody else. So we don't have a pouree helping us. That's first. Second is another mountain, and if you were at the VIA conversations, I switch up my things every time, but it was bitterness. Because nobody is ever coming to pour us. My whole life, I had to be responsible. My mom got sick, I had to be responsible from 14. My first job was Chick-fil-A. I've been working ever since. I want to have it easy. I want to have something, right? I want to feel safe and warm and snuggly somewhere. It's not my journey to do that. There's nobody coming to do that for me. But I will be the one to do it for myself. Because I still deserve to receive it, even if there's no one there to give it. Right? So I will do it for myself. Then, from a filled cup, from a filled cup, all the overflow is yours. And I give it with no bitterness, because I'm not empty. I give it with no frustration, because I'm not empty. I give it with excitement, because I know you need somebody in that cup, because I need somebody in mine. And that's the space. My cup is so full. What I'm giving you is like, let's all get a little in our cup. It's a secret excitement. Like, that's on the house. You get excited because people deserve. You know what it is? It's the cost. I've gone without a full cup so long. So long. It feels really good to have a full cup. So remember from my story, I didn't imagine a day. Every cool thing I ever thought I would do, I thought my mom would be sitting somewhere in the back, smiling at me. That's not gonna happen, right? Thank you. Yes. Don't you get what I'm saying? Her physical presence would happen. Right? But to do that, she would have had to suffer because her body was breaking down. She would have had to suffer to do that for me. I don't want her to suffer. So now, if she did it, I'm joking. She's here laughing because I was always the person to make her laugh. We'd be in the hospitals, I'd be cracking jokes. So she's here having a good time.